Hey guys, in this video I will be showing you how to make hippie text like this one, and all you need is a picture of some bright flowers like this one here. And first of all, I'm going to create a new layer in my layer dialog by clicking on this icon here and call it background, because we're going to make a new background layer, and then move this down, and you can do it with either your arrow keys or just drag it down, but when I'm recording, dragging it down doesn't work. And I'm going to rename this layer, my flower layer, flower. Or flowers. And next thing I want to do is make this flower layer have transparency, and I'm going to do that by going to Layer, Transparency, Add Alpha Channel. And this is because we're going to make this layer into text. So now I'm going to go to my my text tool. And I'm going to use a font called Plump MT, and I will leave the link in the description, with the size of 145. And I'm going to type in my text. And next thing you need to do is move the text over the best bit of the flowers. And let's see, something like this will be fine. And then on your text layer, it's called Hippie here, right click and click Alpha to Selection, and then make your text layer invisible by clicking on the eye here. And now you can see where the text will be and what it will look like. It's the inside of the selection. And now go back to your flower layer and go to Select to Path, because we're going to need this path later. And now go to Select again and invert, and on your flower layer, but you were already there, press Delete on your keyboard, and now you see where the text is. And now go to your background layer. Go to Select None first, and now go to your background layer and fill it in with the bucket fill tool with white, and make sure you're on your background layer. So we have a background. And now we're going to go back to our flower layer, and we're going to go to our foreground color and change it to a leafy color green to make an outline around the text. And the annotation I'm using is 1A5719, and click OK. And then I'm going to go to Edit, Stroke Path, that's the path we made earlier, and I'm going to stroke it with a line width of 1 and a solid color. And then just click stroke, and my text will have a greenish leafy color outline. And the next thing I'm going to do is go to Script Full, Layer Effects, and Bevel and Emboss. And if you don't have Script Full Layer Effects, then don't worry, I have a video on it explaining everything, and I will leave it as a video response to this one. And in Bevel and Emboss, make sure the style is set to Inner Bevel, and that soften, it's normally set to 0, is all the way up to 16, and that merge with layer is ticked, and then click OK. And then your text will look like this. And now go to your Move tool and move your text to the middle. Somewhere in the middle is fine. And now I'm gonna auto crop the layer by going to Layer, Auto Crop Layer, and that makes it that the layer will have layer boundaries that are just next to the text. And we're going to need this because we're going to use the perspective tool here, and click on the layer, and then you see where the layer boundaries are. And I'm going to transform this to make the text lean back a bit. So I'm going to do this, and while you do this, or after you've done this, make sure that a little bit out here, that the top and bottom line, the horizontal lines, are straight. That's very important. And I think maybe a little bit more. This text is leaning back nicely, and I'm going to click transform, and there we've got it. And now I want to sharpen this a bit, because after you've used the perspective tool, it always blurs a tiny little bit. So I'm going to go to Filters, Enhance, Sharpen, and I myself will sharpen it by 32, but it depends on what image you're using on how much you need to sharpen this. And I'm going to click OK. and now it just looks a little bit crisper. So next step is go to filters, light and shadow, perspective, and in the perspective shadow you need to change your blur radius to 5. It is by default set to 3, but you need to change it to 5 and then click OK. And now you have a more leaning back effect because you see the shadow of it. Now all you need to do is go to your newly created background layer and change your foreground color to this color pink, and that's FB59FF, and click OK. And change your background color to this color green, and that's 90FF59, and click OK. And then go to your blend tool and make sure your gradient is set to foreground to background, and it's HSV counterclockwise. It's the second one from the top. It's always the second one from the top, and the one above foreground to background RGB. So that's what your gradient should be set to. And the shape should be set to radial, and the repeat should be set to triangular wave. And then on your background layer here, stroke down almost to the bottom, something like this. And there you've got it. Your Hippie Text is done. I hope you liked this tutorial, and if you did, then maybe you'd like to watch my other videos, and maybe you'd like to subscribe as well. Thank you for watching.